everybody, and welcome to Upside, a show that places top priority on positive news. I'm Carly Mullane. Pamela Ambler is off tonight. You know, yesterday was one of those days that will go down in the history books and have those of us who had the privilege of living it telling future generations what it felt like. Of course, I'm talking about the Supreme Court ruling in favor of same-sex couples with regards to the Defense of Marriage Act and Proposition 8. We now live in a country where rights to our loved ones' benefits are equal, and in a state where you can say "I do" to whomever your heart chooses. Like the hashtag President Obama tweeted after the news, "Love is love." We here at Upside are also celebrating that victory for equality. As you may know, our studio is located in San Francisco, which is often considered the heart of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender community, and it was certainly a party in the city last night. People flooded the streets of the Castro district to celebrate what has been dubbed Decision Day. You can see them out and about amongst the many rainbow-colored lights and gay flags that are always out in the area. Meanwhile, downtown San Francisco City Hall, the site of the first same-sex marriages in California 9 years ago, showed its true colors, being all lit up for Gay Pride Week happening now. And before we get to more local reaction to the rulings, we want to explain exactly what they mean for same-sex couples in California and across the country. We go now to Pete Williams with the details of what's being called the most important rulings ever on gay rights.
Gay rights supporters crowded outside the court cheering the historic decisions. First, a ruling striking down a law passed by Congress in 1996, the Defense of Marriage Act, known as DOMA.
DOMA is dead!
That law blocked the federal government from recognizing same-sex marriages in the states that allow them, depriving those couples of more than 1,000 federal benefits that other married couples have. In a 5-4 ruling written by Justice Anthony Kennedy, the court said DOMA serves no legitimate government purpose, and he said it demeans those who are in a lawful same-sex marriage, declaring their marriages less worthy and humiliating tens of thousands of children raised by same-sex couples. Victory for Edie Windsor of New York, socked with a $363,000 tax bill when her spouse died, leaving her the estate. DOMA blocked the IRS from considering the married and exempt from estate taxes.
We won everything we asked and hoped for. Wow. I'm honored and humbled and overjoyed to be here today.
In the second 5-4 decision, this time by Chief Justice Roberts, the court tossed out an appeal involving California's Proposition 8, passed by voters in 2008. It had stopped same-sex marriages in the state. The court said the people who put Prop 8 on the ballot had no legal authority to appeal after a lower court struck it down as unconstitutional. It's not enough, wrote the Chief Justice, to have a keen interest in the case to file an appeal. Instead, someone must have suffered a concrete injury, he said, and the Prop 8 supporters didn't have it. For the two California couples who challenged the law, that's the answer they wanted.
Now we will be married and we will be equal to every other family in California.
So today is a good day. It's the day I finally get to look at the man that I love and finally say, "Will you please marry me?"
A short time later, their interview on MSNBC was interrupted by a call from the president on Air Force One.
We thank you so much for your support.
I'm very proud of today, and your courage, you're helping out a whole lot of people everywhere.
Opponents of same-sex marriage took some comfort in the rulings.
I am pleased that the court did not create out of thin air a constitutional right to same-sex marriage, and this debate will go on.
But with a boost to one side, says Tom Goldstein of SCOTUS blog.
Today's rulings don't give anyone a legal right to same-sex marriage, but they give it a moral underpinning, with a majority of the Supreme Court having really said very forcefully that these relationships deserve equal treatment under the law.
We're all familiar with the saying, "A picture is worth 1,000 words." Well, one artist has repurposed a ton of hate speech to send an even stronger message of equality. This collage depicts a happy same-sex family spending a day at the park, but if you look closer, it's actually comprised of various anti-gay text and imagery. Florida-based artist Derek Gores calls his powerful piece "Love and Only Love." His sister, her wife, and their daughter served as inspiration for the work, which Gores made in response to the former ban on gay marriage in California. And he says, "I chose a gentle moment, a young family at the park. I hope that the real moment depicted shows a love that is self-evident and deserving of honor." The artwork is now getting renewed interest following yesterday's Supreme Court rulings.
When I was a little boy growing up in Richmond, Virginia, the idea of being openly gay was certainly nothing I could conceive of. The idea of being married to another man was not in my wildest dreams. And today, June 26th, 2013, this big deal became a part of American history.
That was David Perry, the creator, host, and producer of 10%, the longest-running LGBT television show in Northern California history that airs right here on CHN. He joins me now to share more of his personal reaction to yesterday's same-sex victories. Hello there, David.
Hi, thanks for having me on.
Thanks for being here and being on the other side of things.
Yeah, it's a little disconcerting, but I can do it. I can do it.
But such a happy occasion.
It was.
I gotta ask, does today feel different to you?
Well, I have to admit, I slept a little late. We all celebrated in the Castro last night. The last time I saw the Castro kind of erupt like that in a spontaneous display was the night that Bill Clinton was first elected president. And I'll never forget it because it was the first time that a presidential candidate, much less a presidential elect, said the word gay. I remember he stood there on the steps of the Arkansas State Capitol and he said, "We need all Americans to build our country. Rich, poor, black, white, straight, and gay." And when he said that word, it was just like a wave of emotion in the Castro. And last night was like that.
Yeah, well, it's certainly been a topic that everyone is passionate about. Tell me what these rulings mean for you personally.
Well, I mean, for me personally, it's very emotional. Yesterday, I actually taped my show 10%, and I said, you know what, I just feel that for history, I need to say something. So we taped an editorial because whatever happened yesterday, Alfredo and I were just as married as any straight couple. We've been together since 1998, and people say, how long have you been married? I say, well, it depends on who you ask. We say 15 years, California says 4. In 2008, when the California Supreme Court ruled same-sex marriage was legal in California, we got married in that window. So no matter what happened with Prop 8, we were going to stay married. So legally, yesterday meant nothing. Because of DOMA, however, it was very interesting. Our accountant called us and said, well, you know now that you can apply for federal benefits. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, for 5 years, you've been paying at a different tax rate. Now that we're married, we get to apply for a refund. So thank you, Supreme Court.
So on a meaning level, it doesn't impact your relationship, but financially, it is a big deal.
It may, and I mean, I'm just being kind of flip. We didn't even know about that. Every time something like this happens, it really gets you. I mean, I got very emotional about it. When we got married in 2008 legally, we just thought, well, this, you know, this isn't going to mean a big deal to us, and it really got to us. What it really means is people who weren't even born when I moved to San Francisco 27 years ago now live in a new day. When same-sex marriage is not only the law in California, but we can see the trend. And like Martin Luther King said, you know, the trend is towards justice, and yesterday was a big trend.
What would your younger self, who I believe grew up in Richmond, Virginia, think about all of this?
I don't think he'd have believed it.
You know?
I really don't. I really meant that when I said when I was a young boy, I remember the first time I heard the word gay, and I didn't know what it meant, but I kind of thought I knew that's what I was, and I knew that it wasn't really cool. So, you know, at age 51, it has been a seismic shift.
And how did you celebrate?
Oh, yesterday we all went out. I think everyone we knew was in the Castro last night. We had several big drinks, and I've just never seen such a spontaneous, happy occasion. You know, as I said yesterday in my editorial, the fight's not over. You know, women don't have equal pay for equal work. There's racism in this country and the world institutionalized. There's religious bigotry, and we don't have LGBT rights. In 29 states, you can be fired for being gay. So the battle's not over. But you know what? Yesterday was a good day.
A big step.
Yeah.
All right, David, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
All right, make sure to check out David on 10%. It also airs here on Channel 104. You can catch new episodes on Monday mornings at 11:30. The show repeats throughout the week and is also available on demand in the Get Local section. Also on CHN, live coverage of the 2013 San